money because he's making more. And so therefore your life is not changing at all. Your life is the exact same as it was an hour ago because you're keeping your same home and you're keeping your son and you're keeping everything and you're keeping your vodka and you're keeping Avi and you're keeping your fashion. The only thing that changes is that your payment is going up every month. Oh yeah, and that your ex-husband who you have been married to for like 20 years is going to live overseas. I see your point, Kyle, but Sutton's going through this. So for her, yeah, I guess rich girl problems. I love that they referred to Allison DuBois. We'll have Allison on where they're talking about the first dinner party from hell. Faye, and I mean, come on, Faye and Camille. This was planned the minute Camille walks in and Faye is there and they do a split screen. How could you not mention Allison DuBois? This brings us back. There's a reason I had her back on this podcast, really. She's coming. We got to get her back to recover, talk all about this. They kind of shaded her, of course. I mean, I am totally here for Faye versus Camille. When Camille then regurgitates the morally corrupt Faye Resnick, I'm like, they were civil. They had a moment and they were civil to each other, right? We saw it. I love that they were civil to each other. I loved it. They were seated across from each other. Oh, you evolution producers are so shady. Faye moved herself. Camille says, thank God, but you know she was kind of like, oh, fuck that bitch. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Why is no one talking about Denise? You know what I know for a fact? I think we talked about it here on this podcast. Denise was at the Bethanini dinner with Bethany, Nene, and Jenny Garth, and Melissa Rivers, and all these people. I have heard from multiple sources there, that Denise was not in the picture because Denise couldn't be in the picture. Denise couldn't be in the picture because she left. Denise left because she had to leave. Denise had to leave because she was too drunk. That's what I heard about that event. So, which I believe. Why is no one talking about Denise? I mean, we see a Denise at the table. Erica's basically laughing at her face. Erica's laughing because I think it's like, what are you on? Now, you're not partaking in the pot. You're not dosing. She said 0 doses. So you're on something. And to me, it seems like maybe pills with some vodka thrown in there. It's a good combo. But why is no one talking about the fact that Denise is on camera filming the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for millions of people to watch, for us to talk about, and no one is really acknowledging, at least not for this part 1, that she is fucking drunk, pilled up, whatever it is, out of her fucking mind. She can barely put a sentence together. Does anyone else notice this? Why is no one talking about this? Honestly, it's a real question. It's funny. It's hilarious. I cannot wait till next week. Denise is about to come unraveled, but I mean, I don't know. I'm like, this is like a Denise that's not okay. So that plus this thing that I know from this party that Denise couldn't be in the picture because she was so drunk. She had to leave the event. She wasn't asked to leave. That's not what I'm saying. I think she self-regulated herself of like, shit, I better get the fuck out of here and do an Irish goodbye. I'm drunk, but she still wasn't there because she was drunk. So that's interesting. So I think Denise is so fucked up. Love seeing Camille. Love seeing Faye. Love the reference to Allison. I don't know. Does anyone have an interest to go to a CBD party where you dose yourself THC? I don't know. I don't. I love that Annemarie is like, what the hell are you all talking about? Crystal speaks up. Crystal has a moment. I don't know. How are we liking this season of RHOBH? I still want to hear from everyone what you guys think of this season of RHOBH. It's a good season. It's not as interesting as maybe some of the other seasons, but I don't think Lisa Rinna being gone has anything to do with that. I really don't. Right? I think it's just we're at this season. Anything else exciting happen from Kathy Hilton's party that we missed? Anything else keeping people up at night? Do I think Morgan? Oh, Kim and we're having a moment. Kim, our interview with Brielle is going all over the place because Brielle on my podcast, which was last year, like last year around this time, said that Kim would love if she's pregnant. Now Kim Zolciak has created fake news saying that Brielle is pregnant. It was clickbait. Somehow they're referring to our podcast interview. So thank you, Kim Zolciak, for helping this podcast go viral. There was a lot of Salt Lake. Mary Cosby was at Kathy's party. Heather Gay. But Heather did an interview where she said that she's basically will never film with Monica again. I mean, is this Monica going to get herself fired? You know, or is Monica going to be like the Leah McSweeney where it's like some of you love her, lots of you love her, lots of you don't love her, but where she comes back for a season 2 and it's just a disaster. Look, everything comes out in season 2. If you're inauthentic, whatever it is, it comes out in season 2. So is that where we are headed with our friend Monica? I don't know, but Heather saying that she'll never film with her again, I don't think is a good sign for Monica. I do think she'll be back, but how is that going to work? And you're not quitting, Heather, so slow your roll. They all say things and then the other person comes back and they have no choice. I can't even remember what I said about an hour ago at the beginning of this chat. Shannon and Tamra at Kathy's party was stopped on the carpet and said, oh, Teddy's working the carpet, first of all, and no shade. It's like Sarah and I talked about recently. This Teddy Mellencamp, man, she's made a real career out of this. So good for you, Teddy. But my point is that Tamra said on the carpet that her and Shannon are already having issues. They had a fallout. So, but it's nothing they can't work out. So you had a fallout. You're going to get back together. Lisa Hochstein, RHOM continues on. Gertie still is not. It's all Larsa's just not having a good season. It's all going to come out. The whole thing that she spread the cancer rumors. Lisa Hochstein was claiming that Lenny abused her. Lenny denies it. There's just a lot going on with that. It's nothing else is really jarring me. We talked about Nene and Bethany breaking up. So overall, I give this episode of RHOBH maybe like an 8. But the bad news is I think this was possibly, for me, the best episode all season, and we're still at an 8. And I think the main reason this episode was so good is Faye and Camille and Denise. Just seeing them there. I also love that. Look, Faye Resnick is such a great friend to Kyle Richards. She really is. So that's what I love. I love the 3. Other than that, there's nothing really going on. Annemarie is introduced. She's going to be a housewife. Let's see what's happening. Jersey, everyone's been asking me, do I know when we can expect the trailer? I'm still hearing January. I could see it coming earlier. I could see it coming later. I'm still hearing that the show is back in February. That's what I'm hearing. So that doesn't mean it's true. Things change. Does anyone remember Girls Trip 4? I mean, the one with Brandy and Caroline, okay? And how, like, Roni Girls Trip was not supposed to be on until, like, next year. So anything is possible. I'm hearing, like, maybe January, late January, but maybe February for RHONJ. But wouldn't shock me if we saw a trailer. It's coming.